Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Okay, I don't understand if you saw your dad or your mom arguing with someone else, would you just stand there with your friend like a little schoolgirl and be like, well, my parent, my dad, my mom, they usually like arguments and stuff. Knowing that the person that they're arguing with is known to be very not just intimidating, but just very not volatile, but just very like intense. I really think you would just stand there because most people wouldn't do that. Yet you got Finn and Liz, which by the way is a head nurse. It's just like, so it's kind of interesting, and it's not like they were pretty loud. So it's laughable on both fronts, saying how she's supposed to be in charge of the floor and stuff like that. It's just like, yeah, Tracy should be kind of intense. Just seem like a person has a heart and yada yada yada. And I'm just like, so we're just gonna sit there and pretend that you two grown ass adults aren't doing your jobs, sit there and kind of nip this in the bud. Now Tracy is going to the hospital to sit there and look for a doctor because after talking to Olivia about trying to commit Ned, Olivia's like, no, that's not gonna work. I'm not doing that. So she goes to the hospital and she comes across Gregory. She's actually pleasant. Like, she's nice. She's like, is everything all right? Yada, yada, yada. I noticed you couldn't pick up your credit card and stuff. And Gregory gets super defensive. Pretty much acts like a dick. He's like, who do you think you are? Sitting there asking people around town about me. And so they go at it back and forth. And Tracy talks about how she wants to commit her son. Now, at one point in time, did she not ask to get advice from Gregory as far as why it's not a good idea to do like ethically speaking and stuff and taking away his rights and he is who he says he is regardless of what you think and live his life and blah 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 blah, just doing his usual Gregory thing, which is like giving lectures to people that didn't ask for it. And the sad part is I've seen people like that. I've talked to people like that. Those people are very annoying. Okay, that's that's just the general thesis that you can get from this whole story is that those people are annoying. And she even was like, I didn't ask for a lecture. Oh well, I just thought that was they're trying to help you. Now, surprisingly, Tracy doesn't get like too angry and start yelling too much. She's like, I gotta do what I gotta do. So she just kind of walks off. She's sad about it, and I'm just like, she usually lashes out, and she, for the most part, she kind of kept it mild, which is, I don't know, what kind of odd. I expected her to go off on her much more. I mean, granted, they was loud enough where Liz and Finn, could literally hear it from like not that far away, and of course, he just chose not to do a damn thing about it. So there's that. Now, Sasha is at this point, she is whatever that dude put in her system. She is seeing things like no tomorrow. She is straight on. She's tripping. Okay, that's the bottom line. She's seeing Cody. She's seeing Cyrus, and of course Cody's not there worried about Sasha. So he enlists Brooklyn's help to get down to the facility. And of course they run into no nonsense Janice, right? Janice happens to be a fan of Brooklyn. Well, no, she happens to be a fan of Chase. So she's sitting there putting on the earbuds or whatever and just listening. And apparently, the best way to sit there and listen to music is to close your eyes, which gave Cody enough time to sit there and get past her and go and see Sasha. Of course, seeing how she's been tripping all day, she just loses it on Cody. When she starts losing on Cody. Meanwhile, you got Janice that's telling Brooklyn, yo, listen, we can't let you go in there by yourself. She can be violent. She's combative. You don't want to I'm sending this guy in here to help you. Now, she got worried when, Brooklyn got worried when she heard the word violent as far as Sasha. They get in there, practically all hell breaks loose, and I don't understand why Brooklyn wasn't there like covering her ears. I understand that. I mean, I understand like her hands being there, but why is she like what are you like? I didn't get that. So apparently Mason is a goddamn magician at this point. So Mason summons Austin after talking to Marty for a little bit, and he goes to his office. No one's there. He looks at his phone. He's like, "What's going on?" He comes back and he's just like appeared right there. I'm like, okay. They talk about Gordon, and of course Mason's like, "I didn't do it," but you seem like you had an intense argument with him not that long ago. So, oh, they got a lot of cameras in that back alley. I'm just saying, it's not looking good for you. Um, but in all reality, it's like it doesn't really go anywhere. It's like the only thing that winds up happening is he comes to the office. He basically is like, "Did you kill Gordon?" He says no. They start talking about Betty and stuff. Austin has questions. Mason doesn't answer. Austin tells him to kick rocks. Mason gets upset and he walks away. And that was pretty much the scene. Just like, I don't want to sit there and say pointless, but it was pointless. It really was. It was entirely pointless. It went nowhere. But after Cyrus is there talking to Martin about making sure that he donated all his money, Martin's like, "All right, bro, you're not gonna sit there and tell me that you gave away all your money, right? Where's the rest of the stash at?" He doesn't tell me anything. Martin's like, "All right, you know what? Listen, I'm not gonna get anything out of you." So he leaves. As they're wheeling Cyrus out, because Austin was watching Cyrus the whole time, but Martin was there. So the officers, they wheel Cyrus out. He looks at Austin and he starts smiling. And I'm like, why are you smiling for? And it wasn't like it was a happy smile. This was more like a up to no good kind of smile. So I'm very curious, and it's only Tuesday. It's just this day was so long. I feel like it's like Thursday or something. But I wonder what that smile was about because it was definitely like a no good kind of smile. I feel like this scene is just pretty much Anna interrogating Valentine. How'd you know those people? Why are you sitting there dealing with them? You know they're really evil people, yada 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 yada. Now, Valentine did get hooked up with Pikeman because he wanted to find something to take down Victor at the time. Now, what I was going to say is that the scene yesterday made it seem like she knew who was the shooter. No, actually, no, never mind. I take that back. After them talking, she is more convinced that it is the Bureau. I thought she had I thought that she actually had a particular person that she knew. Okay, yeah, this person doesn't like me. This person shot me. It's like no, she's just more thinking that it is the WSB coming after her and not Cyrus. I mean, and not Sunny. Which she can still totally be wrong. She's kind of disappointed in Valentine for keeping stuff from her. At this point, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, oh come on, like you're sitting there dealing with when you're dealing with Valentine. Y'all practically listening to saying that y'all have a shade of gray. So, like, is it really so surprising? Or is it like, oh my god, I can't believe you're working with him? It's like, seriously? Also during the whole time where Tracy was Nick, you're talking about committing Ned overheard everything. Tracy laughed, and Ned was like, "Thank you, but I'm not Ned. I'm Eddie Main." So Olivia was like, "You know what? Let me sit there and try to find a way to get him to stay." He's like, "You know what? Your daughter," because he started like, "Oh, I need to be on the open road. I need to be singing and playing songs and stuff like that." And so Olivia was like, "Well, Brooklyn, she writes songs and music and stuff like that," and took him into a different room. At some point, Ned started attempting what he calls singing, but of course, you know, he was sitting there thinking about Tracy and committing him. And so when he started singing, it was oof, bad. I've listened to a few minutes of like Nat singing or Wally Kurt. It's not terrible. It's really not. But it's one of those things where it's like a lot of people think that they can sing and they really can't. And it's almost like the equivalent of trying to listen to The Weeknd sing. It's terrible. It is just god awful. It's like T Pain thinking that he can be a rapper. It's just like some people just can't sing, and that's fine. You may like singing in the shower. Maybe one or two people said you can sing, but even if he didn't sound off, it was still just like, is this what I was sitting there missing when I kept fast forwarding to any time that Ned was saying? Because it sound. I'm not even gonna sit there and say no offense. It's just, hey, he can act. He does Justin. He does Ned, which is well virtually the same character, but he can act. So that's something. Anyway, after he's done with his version of singing, um, he's like, Olivia, I need you to get some water. I'm kind of parched or whatever. So Olivia gives him some iced tea, comes back, Ned's gone. Like we all predicted him being gone. Question is where? Question is where? Where is he now? Man, I remember back in those days, because they was talking about what Tracy was talking about how, or Olivia was like, yeah, he's waking up in the middle of the afternoon and dawn and stuff, and or like afternoon, and I'm just like, man, I remember those days. I used to actually wake up around like 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I haven't done that in a very long time. A very long time, and I think it's mostly just because I just have like way too much stuff to do. Just make sure that I'm done. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that's pretty much about it. Can't think of anything else. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe. If I missed anything, you know what to do. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the soaps, GH, YNR, Days, and B&B. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.